What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Follow the Sports in the morning. You know, Leader Johnson's working up with a little cold, man, but we're going to get this going. Last couple of days, I've been a little bit sick. I'm all right. I'm here, man. I'm here for y'all. We are here in the morning with Hardcore Sports Network. Follow Leader Sports in the morning. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, we're going to branch into this Philadelphia Flyers game. Couldn't do the post game yesterday. But you know what? A loss, good game. It's really a good game. Really a good game. Matvei Michkov got 2 goals, man. It's crazy. 5 shots on goal. Just an awesome player, man. I just think a lot of things could happen for him. 2 block shots. It's just 2 hit. I mean, I just think a lot of things with him are going to be. And when you get your debut goals and you get 2 goals, that's telling you something. He played against Connor McDavid. It was him against Connor McDavid. These are the 2 guys of the future. You know, Edmonton got their first win because really it was looking like the Flyers with 29 saves from Samuel Ersson was headed for that. It was a good goalie showdown. Scott Skinner. All right, you get Skinner, who had 27. You get him. Excuse me, Stuart Skinner. I'm sorry. How the heck? What I say, Scott Skinner? Stuart Skinner, a guy that had a great year last year, very good year for the Edmonton Oilers last year, and he does it. He's starting off again. Last year, Stuart Skinner, was a player for this team that contributed, and they had a good listen. Edmonton's one of those teams. Just like Vancouver was. Edmonton is one of those teams. Stuart Skinner was 36 and 15, 36 and 16, with a 2.62 goals against average last year. Man, listen, big things for the Flyers because it seems like they're giving competitive teams early. I don't know about it. I ain't saying Stanley Cup. I'm saying they can definitely make that playoff. I'm just saying this off a couple of games because there are teams. This is a young team. Mitch Cove is young. He's a rookie. And they're already showing things with Mitch Cove and Fairby and Frost. These young guys are playing to that next level that can take them to the playoffs. They lost 4-3. Okay. The big thing with the Philadelphia Flyers is that they're young. I think that's the biggest thing against them right now. I mean, everybody got to play together. Everybody got to do what they got to do. Look at the goalie. The goal that's even Bouchard, another big-time goalie for Edmonton. I mean, not goalie, big-time player for Edmonton last year. Kill me, y'all. A little sick this morning. Evans one of those guys. He's a defensive man. Had 18 goals last year. He got him a goal this time. Then you look at that. Other guys that contributed for this team. You're looking at all the goals. Adam Henry, who's another guy that big time guy comes over from Anaheim. All right. He had 18 goals last year. Gets him a goal. Another guy who really worked up. Last year was one of those good players at center. Leon Draisaitl. 41 goals, 65 assists, 106 points. Big time there. He gets a goal. Then you're looking at another guy that didn't get that many goals last year like that, but definitely showed the talent. And that's Connor Brown. We got another goal there. And looking at this team can still be effective. Edmonton can still be one of those teams. A good lesson. Connor McDavid only had 2 assists. All right, 2 shots on goal. A guy. Now, this is the one you needed to see. You needed to see this. You needed to see this type of game. You needed to see Flyers. You got to see them be competitive against teams they don't win against. But it was unfortunate there was another overtime. There's 2 overtimes. 2 overtimes. Big time team is Edmonton. Flyers now 1-1 going on a year. Edmonton goes to 1-3. they're going to be a team that's going to be there, man. And we're talking about this is games on the road. This is on the road right now. They lost at home. These are games on the road. Excuse me. They didn't lose at home. They were 1-1. They are 1-1. They've only played 2 road games, and that's big to open up on the road and still win. I got to say, big thing about what the Flyers did. You see who contributed. You see who made the big time plays. You look at Bobby Brink. That's a guy I've been waiting to see him score a goal. That's another guy people need to watch out for this year. Looking at Bobby Brink, that's a big time guy. And then you're talking about Sean Cartier, 5 penalty minutes. He's been rough early. Joe Farabee had an assist, 2 assists for Morgan Frost. Konechny had an assist. 2 goals for Michkov, the star. And Owen Tippett had an assist. You see more things. Zamula had an assist. Look at that. When Michkov scores, his boy Zamula has an assist. Gets a point. Look at that 2 blocks from Frost and Gathaway. Look at that 2 blocks from Michkov. Looking at the block from Poland. Look at 3 blocks from Eric Johnson. Look at 2 blocks from Rostolian. Guys are playing big time and they're playing hard. Got a lot of guys in penalties. 5 penalty minutes for each for Cartier and Farabee. Farabee playing rough. All right. Yuchenko had 2 penalty minutes. He had 2 hits. 2 hits for Hathaway. 3 hits for Bobby Brink. This team. And I got to say about Urson, that was a good goalie battle between looking at Urson and looking at how Skinner played. That was a goalie battle. That's what it came down to. At the end of the day, looking at Michkov having a game-changing 2 goals, right? But Edmonton wasn't playing that. And they made it happen. Real good game, man. What I have to say, a couple things we're going to get into real big is the Villanova Wildcats. That's the next thing. Catch me on Flyer and the Flyer. That's the post game. We didn't get to do the post game last night, but we will do the post game next coming up. Flyers have a game against the Kraken. That's going to be big for them. Before I get into Villanova, I just want to say Flyers will have a game against the Kraken. That will be tomorrow, and I will be post-game for that one. Definitely will be a post-game. Post-game will be at 12 o'clock. I will be there for it. No question. But if listen, it could be 12 o'clock because if it lasts a little longer, we're doing 1 o'clock. All right, if it goes overtime, lasts longer, it's 1 o'clock. But 12 o'clock is when we will do that post game. Yeah, let's talk about the Villanova Wildcats. The Villanova Wildcats, it's two guys I want to talk about: Jordan Longino and Jahmir Brickus. Let's get a little into how they are, the type of guys that these are for the and why I think it's a breakout. Could be a breakout for both of them. Brickus could. I said 10 points a game for him because I don't want to go too crazy and be like, they're going to score these many points and they're going to share the ball. And sometimes when you score 10 points a game, it's just as good as 20 or 30 because there's other guys getting involved. You can't stop that guy scoring 10. And this other guy's going to score 10. And this other guy going to score 10. That's just how it is. But it could be bigger than that. Jordan Longino last year only scored 6.6 points a game. Only 32% from the three-point line. But this is his year. 83% from the free throw line. I want people to recognize how good free throw percentage can let you know how good of a shooter you got. Jordan Longino is the type of guy that he can really score in bunches. When he first came out of high school, he was one of those guys. Big get for Villanova. Big get for Villanova. Jordan Longino came out as a shooting guard, 43rd in the country, 11th ranked shooting guard, and number 3rd in PA by 247 Sports. 96 rating. You get guys that was rated over him in PA. You had Jalen Worley, Brandon Huntley Hadfield, guys like Rasul Diggins, he was over. Stevie Mitchell and Wooga Poplar. How about that? Looking at your player that plays with you now, Wooga Poplar, who was 123rd in the nation, 33rd ranked guard, 6th ranked player in PA. Now he's playing with him. He's rated over Gabe Dorsey, Lynn Greer, Hasir Miller, Deshaun Shepard. These are all guys in PA that were pretty good guys, that are pretty good talents. So he was rated over. Longino was, like I said, top 50 player. So you forget how good of a talent people are forgetting because of the injuries. Look at Brandon Antoine. Brian Antoine injuries just caught up with him. But looking at how Longino playing this year, just started with the blue-white scrimmage game, man, he's ready. He's ready to let y'all know. He's going to be hard to handle because he has the whole offensive repertoire in his bag. His offensive bag is crazy. And then he can play defense, and he can pass the ball. He's a very underrated all-around player. Talk about Jahmir Brickus. Jahmir Brickus is one of those guys. Jahmir Brickus is one of those players who can light it up. I'm talking about light it up. I mean, we know Longino can play and he can score big, but the thing about Brickus is that not only can he just light it up at a small size, he's also a good passer. Very underrated passer, underrated point guard. He had 13.9 last year, 3.5 assists, 4.8 rebounds. Shot 40% from the field, 85% from free throw line. Like 1.2 steals. 5'11", 188. He is a whole, listen, he's a different problem. Different problem. I think with these two here, it could open up Wooga, open up Eric Dixon, and really open up a center like Enoch Boxy that can really play. Enoch Boxy is a guy that can really play. You can see how he's around the basket, getting rebounds, block shots. He's going to give you a problem the whole game because he's going to be at you on both ends of the floor. He's going to be a guy that can rise above the rim. He's going to make Brickus even better because he got an athlete he can throw to. I mean, Brickus has some people. I mean, you talk about Jack Clark and you talk about Deshaun Shepard. Clark was hurt a little bit, But Shepard is definitely a standalone guy. But this is a big center you got. So Brickus is going to love to work around having Eric Dixon backing you down and having guys like Hoover Poplar, a shooting guard right next to you that is just as effective as you. Just as effective. He had 41 points against Temple in 3 overtimes. I mean, 41 points. What are we talking about? 9 rebounds at 5'11", 4 assists. He had one of those games last year. So just think of that. If you got guys around you that can take all the pressure off, because he was the main guy at LaSalle. He was the main guy. He was the guy you had to worry about. And when Temple came in there, they knew that because they had Big 5 school. They knew that. And still couldn't stop him from scoring 41. Even though it was a loss, 106-99, they still couldn't stop him from scoring 41. So when you got players around this guy, just think how he could play. Think how he could really be. It's almost scary. See, listen, you're in the Big East now. You need that guard play, especially if you're Villanova saying, represent guard you. Now you have a dynamic backcourt. Last year, Mark Armstrong was his second year being a starter, going into a system that wasn't Jay Wright's. I'm sorry, when you recruit a player, coaches are recruiting you to see how you can play in a system that the coach that they're with. They're not recruiting you to play in a system that they're thinking. Neptune wasn't recruiting players and Howard and all them for their how good they think he could fit in their system. They're recruiting him for how they think he could be in Neptune's system. That's how it is. When Neptune was recruiting for Jay Wright, it was for Jay Wright, not for Neptune. He might like the player, but when you might like a player, but you say, all right, can this guy be good enough for Jay Wright? That's how you do that. So now, looking at this team, I just want to talk real big about the Nova Wildcats because I just think they're a big big piece because Eric Dixon's the man, right? But then it's Wooga. The second guy is Wooga. That's what the pressure is at. It's Wooga. But what people fail to realize is that Joe Longino been playing for a minute, and he played in Jay Wright's and now Neptune system. And he looks like he's comfortable to be in Neptune system. He just looks real comfortable out there handling the ball, the point guard position. He looks comfortable. Jahmir Brickus is the point guard. He's gonna have the ball in his hands a lot. Just like Longino, it seems like Longino's one of those guys they're gonna give a chance. Neptune, like he said, he's gonna give him a chance to bring the ball up court. So this is I think Brickus and Longino are the X factors of this team. And I gotta say Boxy too, because Boxy at center, what he can do is something we never had before. We haven't had an athletic center like this since Amari Spelman. We haven't had this size. I mean, Amari is a heck of an athlete. He was like 6'9", but he's 6'11". He's longer than Amari Spelman. This is really going to be something to see. I think going to Enoch boxing, I just think the teams are not going to be ready for this. They're not going to be ready for this type of center in the Big East. They are not going to be ready for, and he's experienced like that's going to be another X factor. Jahmir Brickus, he hasn't played in Big East play. And if you look at the schedule, Nova, they got ranked teams. They got, I think the hardest part of the schedule, to me, like every year, is their division. Some people don't have to worry about that. Gonzaga's moved over to a different conference. People don't have to worry about Gonzaga don't have to worry about that. A lot of Wichita State didn't have to worry about a lot of competition like the Big East or the Big Ten or the ACC, Conference USA. They didn't have to worry about that. Now it's different. It's different. Villanova. And I think the big thing about Nova is this year, a lot of people downing on Cal Neptune. It's crazy. I mean, all you gotta do is look at when Jay Wright first 3 years. I'm tired of saying that. Y'all gotta chill out, man. Y'all gotta come support Villanova. Y'all gotta chill out. Y'all have to chill out. Nova Nation, y'all ain't even had no down. Listen, this is a start over. Y'all forgetting Jay Wright just up and left. You ain't hear that. He done won the 2 championships, so you don't hear that. Like, dang, and Jay Wright, you just gonna leave us? You just gonna leave us like that? You don't hear that. But you don't hear them get on Jay Wright, but they're getting on Neptune by coaching on the ghost riding the wheels, what we call it. You just learning how to go as you go. It's crazy. So I see a lot, and they go against Lafayette. I mean, they got a real easy schedule coming up, man. You got Lafayette and NJIT. Like, the start of the game, they first 5 games, it's not going to get real complicated until you get to St. Joe's. It's not going to get complicated. But it's going to be one of them teams. I think it's a big year for Nova, and I think the simple fact that people are not expecting it, it's going to be even better in their favor. We get to, the Eagles winning 2016 against the Browns, man. It's so hard. You know what? I get sick and tired of people that, I'm a Philadelphia everything fan, right? But I get sick and tired of people just going after unnecessary. The Eagles just didn't even they're just getting both receivers back. They're just good. We're going to talk about this on Blitz Take on Thursday. I'll be on about the Eagles, and we're trying to get Ed Kratz on there now. That's my guy from Sports Illustrated, Eagle analyst. Man, listen, it's really a trip how it's like people are just having amnesia because of their emotions. Look at the first game. They went against Green Bay. And that's a big time team. People are giving them love right now. How they're starting the season, but they've been a more healthier team than the Eagles. Most teams right now have been more healthy than the Eagles. Most teams. Most teams have been more healthy than the Eagles. Jalen Hurts had a great game, 16 for 25. As much as they're on him, 264 yards, 10.6 yards per play, 2 touchdowns, 126 rated. As much as people, 73 QBR. As much as people are on him when he has a bad game and turnovers, you would think people would come through and be just as on him when he has a good game. You got to give him that. You got to give him that, man, because Jalen Hurts is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You got to give him his love when he does that. I mean, you got to give him his love just like you give him his down parts. Like, it's crazy. But the biggest thing about him is the same thing about the Saints game. I mean, they stopped Barkley. You got to give Cleveland. Cleveland defense impressed me. I didn't think it was that good. They stopped Barkley. Nobody could run. Even Jalen Hurts with 33 yards, had 14 rushes. Like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, they stopped the one part of the game that everybody knew would probably come to the game. People thought that was going to be the main part. People was already calling this Barkley team, taking totally away from Jalen Hurts. But this time, this is why you see Jalen Hurts as the leader. Look at that game. Look at Barkley game. He tried to. Everybody talk about Sirianni don't want Barkley. How about y'all say he ran Barkley this time and this couldn't work? Offensive line had a different game. A.J. Brown, 6 catches, 116 yards. Grant Calcaterra, 4 catches, 67 yards, 16.8 yards per catch. 3 catches for 64 yards for Devontae Smith. I mean, you look at Jahan Dotson, got in, he had 2 catches. I don't know why they're saying that. 1 rush for 13 yards. He had 2 catches, man. Look at the game, he had 2 catches. 1 for 13, 1 for 10 yards. I think that's a big sign for Jahan Dotson and him getting comfortable, and they're starting to plug him into certain plays that are going to be effective. I think Dotson, before we know it, like I told y'all, remember I told y'all after 7 games, that 8th game, that's when it's going to be the start of something sweet for Philadelphia. No matter where they're at 7 games, 8 games, it's going to be the start of something sweet. The offense, the defense is crazy. Listen, 12 tackles for Nakobe Dean. What is wrong with y'all? I mean, there was so much stuff going on Twitter. I was looking at Nakobe Dean trending. I'm looking to see Nakobe Dean being that guy who get the credit he deserved. Nah, he ain't get the credit he deserved. He ain't get the like. Y'all trashed him. Y'all trashed him. 12 tackles. Talk about what he missed. Man, it's a lot of people up there who missed tackles. Y'all just counting Nakobe. And he had the most tackles. Zach Bond had 8 tackles. Well, C.J. Gardner had 6. 2 passes defense. Cooper DeJean. See, I'm y'all got me. Philadelphia. 6 total tackles. 3 solo. 0.5, half a sack. Got him a quarterback, and he was aggressive. I mean, he was covering people. People, listen, you couldn't catch on Cooper, just like you couldn't catch on Quinion. That was a great preview of those 2 good cornerbacks in that game, showing you why it was such a steal to get both of them. You get both of them. That's going to be – and Keely Ringo is going to be the future. Whenever they're done with Darius Slay, which could be next year the way they're talking, but I think he's going to – Darius Slay's a big play guy. Big play Slay. So he's going to have a good year. Just slumping right now. Give it a minute. But when you look at a player and the mold of Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, they got everything. I told you about the same thing about Keely Ringo. Last year when they drafted Keely Ringo, they brought him in for a camp visit. They brought Ringo in for a camp visit. When they brought Ringo in for a camp visit, he was one of the guys they were thinking about in the first round. Truly. The same thing with Nolan Smith. Before, Jalen Carter, they was throwing what can I say? They were throwing a card where they were wanting people not to take Jalen Carter, so they didn't aggressively go up to trade him. Everybody said if he falls to the Eagles, but everybody knew if he falls to anybody around 10, I figured he wouldn't have passed the after he went if he went past the Eagles, which is crazy. He got to that point. I'm done.